Azimut's new Grande series is a family of carbon tech generation low-emission yachts with advanced innovations on board that make life easier and more pleasant for crew and guests alike. They're all instantly recognized by their catchy exterior design, courtesy of Alberto Mancini, who uses horizontal architecture, clean volumes and large windows, plus allocates an abundance of outdoor space. And it continues inside to the rooms curated by interior designer Achille Salvani. But the Grande 36 meter has a feature all to her own, something absolutely unique that she offers, the Infinity Skydeck, and we'll see it soon. But first, let's take a moment to appreciate how even with all these advancements, the connection with nature only seems to get stronger. And there's even more space to enjoy the beautiful sea views here in the cockpit because it's been expanded inwards. So we have an unexpected American bar here, as well as a sofa opposite. And you see the whole area is in close communication with the bathing platform. When the transom is folded out, you have a purposeful area right at the water's edge. So you can have furniture and relax there, not just using it as a stair down to the water. Here is a perfect place to already talk about the materials that are used for the outdoor furniture because it's given the same care as the interior design. In fact, we use a high-tech combination of materials for the padding and fabric that look and feel natural, but they bring all the superpowers of synthetics like durability and easy maintenance. The table seats 10, and you can see there's room for entertaining a lot more than that. Emerging onto the aft part of the upper deck, we have a series of social areas that take full advantage of the spectrum of cover that we have here. So under full sun, the sun beds, and then here partially covered your main outdoor dining. And they're both conveniently served by your bar and grill combo cabinet with storage and refrigeration as well. There are two further storage cabinets here, as well as a recessed lounge. And you see we have complete cover from above, but also thanks to these windows from the sides, which also reduce the glare. So it's a much more comfortable place to stay in weather conditions or for those who are a little more sensitive. And then on our way to the Sky Lounge, a pair of symmetrical storage cabinets. The first thing that you notice when you enter the Sky Lounge is these incredible windows. Well, they're more like walls. They can fold away so that we have an open veranda on the sea here. And it unites the lounge with the rest of the aft part of the upper deck. All of the space here in the Sky Lounge means that owners have the freedom to do whatever they like with the room. They can have a main indoor dining here, therefore being able to open up to the elements and freeing up the main deck to have a full-length lounge. It can be completely enclosed as well for a cozy place to gather with the family in the evening, say, to watch a film. The hidden TV comes down. You can imagine having these windows closed and then dropping the blinds as well. Now, it's time to show you why we call it the Infinity Skydeck. It's called the Infinity Skydeck because you can never see the end of it. And it's all flush from the extreme stern, as we've just seen, all the way to the tip of the guest areas in the bow. The only part of this deck that isn't flush is the technical areas which we have to have in the front. And they've been reduced intentionally in order to make sure that guest relaxation here is never interrupted. You see there's plenty of room for a full cocktail lounge, as well as abundant sunbeds, and one more Infinity detail, the Infinity hot tub, where you can picture yourself, even with a slow cruise, enjoying a great mixture of wind and hot water, and perhaps a cocktail here as well. Now, let's continue our circle around the yacht. The main salon is characterized by the beautiful design of interior designer Achille Salvani. For example, This wall, which separates us from the galley, has been turned into a work of art. Not somewhere to hang a painting, but itself beautiful. And it still reserves room for storage and technical spaces. The dining table here is seating 10, but an owner who prefers to live less formally on board can also choose to have the main indoor dining on the Sky Lounge in order to have a more casual, open layout here on the main deck with a second lounge that we call the Gentleman's Club because it's more intimate and tight-knit. The main lounge, however, is made for openness, and as you can see, there are several benefits to having it in the center of the room. First, the full-height windows that we're able to enjoy, and second, the 2 lanes of foot traffic. Port, coming out of the galley, you have the crew serving, and to starboard, a way for the guests to always have clear. And I almost forgot because it's a feature that you wouldn't notice if you didn't already know about it. The hidden TV here, which turns your salon into a media room. Now, let's go and see the master suite. The centerpiece of the master suite is this floating bed, not only because it's positioned in the center of the room, but also the LED underlighting that gives it a sensation of weightlessness. It's surrounded by full-height windows, and well, the furniture that you have in front barely takes a fraction of these huge frames. Behind the bed, we have a row of full-height storages, all of the space that you need to bring your whole life with you and properly move in for long stays on board. And finally, all the way on the opposite side of the entrance, a dressing area with a full-height mirror and an extra wardrobe right here. Little moments like these are great. A coffee corner to wake up in the morning. And to starboard, we have a desk, which can also be used as a vanity. And all the way forward, the master bathroom. You see, stone texturing gives you such a refreshing feeling to enjoy this expansive bathroom. The toilet, of course, has its own privacy, as well as the massive shower with a rainfall head. Now, let's go and see the other accommodations below deck. The lower deck accommodations are adjoined by this spacious lobby, which brings down design touches and styles from the main deck. For example, the organic furniture and the clever use of space, as well as certain design moments that will stop you in your tracks the first time you notice them. Let's begin with the VIP stateroom. Guests in either of the 2 VIP suites will appreciate how the space is expanded into the washroom, not only increasing the available space and the perception of it, but also introducing a second design language, more refreshing in contrast to the cozy, warm bedding area. It's also something that helps to add a little variety to the space, like, for example, the chaise longue and coffee table combo, helping to make a private space like this one more comfortable for long stays on board. Now, let me show you one of the 2 double cabins. The double cabins on board the Grande 36 meter should really be called triples, because when you need to expand the overnight occupancy, you can do so quite easily by pulling down 1 Pullman bed in each room. And that's in addition to the expected comforts, full-height walking room all around, an abundant full-side window, a full-height storage, and a private bathroom. Now, let's head back upstairs. The galley doesn't only host food preparation areas. Here along the wall, you have your double washer and double dryer, and just around the corner, a stair down to the crew mess and cabins. The helm station, the pilot house of the Grande 36 meter, is a really impressive space to enter. With this glass cockpit and such a clear view down to the water, you really feel in command here. First off, the motors are MTU twin 2,200 horsepower. You can upgrade those to 2,400 if you like. Despite the large motors, she's extremely efficient for her class, making the cut for Azimut's low-emission yacht category. What that means is she has at least 20 to 30% improved efficiency over the other yachts in her similar size range with a traditional hard chine planing hull. Most of that advancement comes through naval architecture, collaborating with Pierluigi Alzogno and the Azimut Benetti Technical Office. What they've come up with is known as the second generation of the D2P hull, displacement to planing. So the key characteristic there is versatility through the double chine. On top of that, you have the wave piercer. The wave piercer has two effects. First, mitigating the impact of waves, and second, extending the length of the hull at the waterline, which increases efficiency at displacement speed. Finally, you have the central skeg, which acts to stabilize the route and therefore minimize the wasted energy. Another feature on that front is the combination of CMC stabilizing fins with the Argo system developed by the same company. It puts the stabilizer fins in contact with the autopilot and the rudders so that the systems can work together as efficiently as possible. And she is a member of the Carbon Tech generation, which means that the upper parts of the yacht have been laminated in the ultralight, ultra-strong material to bring down the weight of those parts by 30%. In addition to absolute weight savings, that means that we are able to expand the volumes without sacrificing dynamic stability and therefore guest comfort. Now you may notice it's an exceptionally clean design here, and that's because the bunning software running on these three central screens, four actually, allows us to integrate all of the technology on board from so many different suppliers into one clean, coordinated interface. Of course, the original materials and screens are still here for safety, so you have auxiliary controls, but for your convenience and ease of use, everything has been integrated into the main screens. And of course, it's a comfortable area for the crew to spend their time, a little mess behind me, and a Star Trek style, very cool seat to enjoy navigation. The sun deck of the Grande 36 meter is a more intimate, private outdoor entertaining space with superior views. But owners who prefer to have a sleeker, sportier profile can opt for the coupe version instead. The choice, like so many things on this yacht, is up to you. So, how will your Grande 36 meter look?